Oh my gosh. Let's just say be careful what you decide to teach on and share on and gift through the 12 days of giving lives, because you will be served it on a silver platter. And I know for those of you where a lot of your work is your embodiment and your being, and if you're walking a spiritual path, you're going to be asked to walk your talk. And I have so often found that what my ascension codes or what my abundance codes or what this live is, the universe then serves me the exact thing on the platter. So talk about a moment of a dismantling, a challenge, a dark night of the soul. And I've been through so many, and I'm sure so many of you have too. And the intention of this 12 days of lives is to be supportive as we're stepping into the light, into solstice, into Christmas, to support you in finding the light, to find it, but also to bring it in, to anchor it in. And someone left a comment on one of the other lives saying like enlightenment. And it's true, and I'm going to talk about that. But essentially, like, that's what we're doing through our process of enlightenment, through our spiritual path, through our ascension, through our greatest becoming. And I have had the most emotional day. I have cried so much. I was even like, oh my gosh, like, how am I even going to come live? Like, I didn't know if like, so this is my cry face. And I cried a lot. And so I like literally am walking my talk. Like everything I talked about in day 2, I've been practicing today. And I shared that with you. I was like, before we get into Dark Night of the Soul and how it's the portal through which you bring more light in, because it absolutely is the portal that you bring more light in. So before we go there, let's talk about how to be with that and embody it. And so I was asked to do that today myself. So I went to bed at like midnight last night. I was like updating my ascension codes and such. And I woke up at 4 because the winds were so strong, like, you know, by the sea, that I could hear, like, it sounded like knocking with the winds. And at 4 a.m. I decided to look at my phone, and I had a text message from my sister in New York, and she shared with me that my stepmother had died. And I haven't seen my stepmother in I don't even know how long, since my father and her got divorced, that I immediately thought of my sister who's in college still, my other sister, my youngest sister. And I reached out to her, and just like my heart went out to her, and she's just like, this is unbearable. And I felt so bad. And it just, and I'm never sad that people die, because everyone dies. And I talk about my thoughts on death in my Ascension Code Death. So if that's something that interests you to go deeper, I always cry because of the circumstances that surround someone's death. Like when there's a bit of a tragedy, or, you know, we didn't get to say our goodbye. Like there's that piece, the relational aspect of it is what makes me sad. And I think that opened something up, you know, and I've just been, and then a few other things happened. And I'm just like, oh. And so today it's like the Rumi quote, you know, the Rumi quote, it's like where the crack is, that's where the light can enter. It's not exactly like that, but it's something like that. And so this idea that every time our heart breaks, so if we go through, and when I say dismantling, it's like your life seems to fall apart. So that could be like the ending of a relationship, the firing of a job, anything that seems like it's crumbling. And I've had that happen numerous times when I needed to change my life. And it always happens for us, but it's hard sometimes to see that. And I transmitted the Ascension Code Positivity yesterday, which is the 8th one. And I talked about that there. And I feel like when we're in the dark night of the soul, or we're in a challenge, you know, I can even think of challenges where we know they're good for us. Like I can think of clients where crap was going down in their business and they didn't want to look at that stuff. Like it was just so messy, and there was a lot that had to be fixed and a lot that had to be managed and organized. And it was painful because they had to step up and they had to really be the leaders that they came here to be. And a lot of it was stuff that had to be healed within. But when we do the work, and the work doesn't mean, like I said yesterday, like it doesn't mean you need to like put on your big girl or big boy panties and roll your sleeves up and like fix things and make them happen. It doesn't mean that. It can mean though that you need to do the emotional work, and you want to do the emotional work because whatever energy frequency within us brought us to that breaking point, that dismantling, that challenge, that dark night of the soul. But it's the gift and the portal where the light comes in. So we never want to shut it. So I just actually hung up the phone. I was FaceTiming with my mom and I was just like crying. And I'm like, there's nothing to fix here. I just need to like cry this out. And I said that to my sister too, who's in college, and she's just like, it's unbearable. And I just said, listen, get messy, cry as much as you need to cry, like whatever you need, like don't worry, like get it out, like feel the feelings, feel the mourning, because so often we think we need to be like strong, but the truth is sometimes we just need to process our emotions, their energy in motion. And anytime we don't allow what wants to come through, we don't allow the feelings, they can become dysfunctional. And that's where anger, rage, that's where blockages happen in the body. But when we clear, and we're like in a dark night in the soul, we're in a challenge, and we just like let it go, cry, feel the feelings, feel the anger, feel the things in the moment, then it doesn't get projected onto different aspects of our life. It doesn't clog us up. And then most importantly, when that is cleared and released, that's more space for the light of your soul to incarnate into your body. And that's part of enlightenment. Like being spiritual, connecting to divine energies is not about leaving your body. It's actually about incarnating more into your physical body, because you are here to have a human experience. And I have found that that's kind of and I know because I did this in the beginning of my spiritual path, where I was doing like all these kinds of meditations where I was like flying out of my body and leaving my body, but then I was living a little bit dissociated, whereas I'm here to do like 3D physical creations. It's actually, the mastery is coming more into our body with our spirit. So it has been such a day. I've done breath work, I've done yoga, I've done qigong, I've meditated, I've written prayers out, I've just felt and laid. I nourished my body with delicious foods. I cried so much. And I also just really honored the feminine way. Like I really did the embodiment of just like loving myself, hugging myself, letting myself cry, and also knowing that it's all going to be okay. Like any moments of dismantling, and they've happened. Astral Beard, love you too. I'm gonna look at the comments for a second. Jake, okay, beautiful. So I really felt called to just like share, like, so I think I cried it all out. I thought like, okay, I'm probably gonna cry on this live today, but I didn't, because I cried a lot. I actually feel pretty good right now because I cried so much. I like cried and then I did some more breath work and then I feel lighter. And so take care of yourself, and there's nothing crazy you need to do. And so as we're approaching solstice, as we're approaching Christmas, which is the light of Christ consciousness, it's really important. And I find that people get a little bit gloomy, even though the holidays are so bright and fun. I also have seen where people get a lot of gloomy because a lot of family stuff can come up around the holidays. And so this series is really meant to support you in connecting to your light and growing it and bringing more of it in. And I love you. I thank you for being on this journey together and just seeing some more of you come in. And if you have any questions or comments or things you want to share about in the next lives, in the next coming days, let me know. You can DM me or you can comment here. if you want to go deeper on those death codes that I talked about, or the positivity codes, you can check out the abundance codes and the ascension codes. And if you're wanting to go deeper and have your own personal support, reach out to me for one-to-one. And so with that, I send you so much love. I'm really grateful that I honored, there's times where we're going through a challenge and we're like, I could just do it tomorrow. Or, but no, we honor our word, and we honor what we say we're going to do. And so I gift this beautiful moment to you, and may it support you in any challenges you have, in anything you're ready to clear and let go of. And if you are going through a dismantling or a challenging circumstance, or you heard challenging news, may this series be supportive for you to bring in the light. And if everything is great, then keep going and keep bringing it. And maybe we'll do some of that tomorrow, of how to bring even more light in through energetic practices. And so with that, I send you love. Bye for now.